The Glenn Armentor Law Corporation, where a fair settlement is no accident.
Tonight on Blue Mondays, we'll take a closer look at Senator Barack Obama. We'll hear from his wife, Michelle, and we'll be able to listen in to his official announcement speech as he declares his candidacy for president. Then we'll look at the new campaign ads from Governor Bill Richardson. And now, Blue Mondays for May 28, 2007. Good evening and welcome to Blue Mondays. Blue Mondays is where we take a look at national, state, and local news through a progressive perspective. This week, as we said at the top of the show, we've got a jam-packed show for you, and we're really excited to take a closer look at Barack Obama. He's definitely shot up through the ranks, but is he ready to be president? Guess you'll have to make your own call on that. Tonight we've got a jam-packed second half of the show that will be Barack-o-mania the entire time, so hopefully you will enjoy that. But first, as always, this week in the news. Governor Bill Richardson, he's made a career out of when he runs for election. He actually runs some funny ads. These ads seem to have worked a great deal for him because he's gotten elected all these times. He first, as you may not know, was elected as a congressman from the state of New Mexico. Then he went on to serve in the Clinton administration as an ambassador, and most notably as the ambassador to the United Nations. Then he went on to serve as Secretary of Energy. He did an amazing job in those roles for the Clinton administration, and when the Clintons left office, well, guess what? He ran for governor of New Mexico, and guess what? He won. And he ran for re-election and won by a huge margin. They love him there. He's done an amazing job as governor of New Mexico. Well, and let's let the governor speak for himself. Here are the first two ads that he is currently running in the early primary states. Take a look.
Okay, 14 years in Congress, UN Ambassador, Secretary of Energy, Governor of New Mexico, negotiated with dictators in Iraq, North Korea, Cuba, Zaire, Nigeria, Yugoslavia, Kenya, got a ceasefire in Darfur, nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 4 times. So, what makes you think you can be president?
I'm Bill Richardson, and I approve this message.
Tell me what you did as governor of New Mexico.
Well, I used tax cuts to help create
over 80,000 jobs. Yeah, I saw that.
A lot of those jobs
are in high tech, helps the middle class.
Up to 6th in the nation for job growth.
Balanced 5 budgets, put over $600 million into classrooms, and cut school bureaucracy.
New Mexico was 46 in teacher pay. Now we're 29.
But for what we're looking for, you might be a little overqualified.
I'm Bill Richardson, and I approve this message.
Outstanding ads. And you know what? They do exactly what he wants people to do, is remember him. He's amazing. And some could question if he's running for president or possibly vice president. Either way, I think this country would be really well served. He's an amazing man. So folks, take note, any of you running for statewide office or the state house or state senate, take note of his ads. If you want people to remember you, you might want to add a little bit of humor. It could be a good thing. So we hope you enjoy that. Mother's Day is 2 weeks away now. However, Mother's Day is a wonderful time for all of us to remember our moms, but also all of the powerful women that have helped influence our lives and push us in the right direction. On this Mother's Day, Brave New Films has put together a great video clip to call to action. Anyhow, take a look.
I think it's wonderful to take one day a year and give thanks and appreciation to one of the most difficult jobs there is, being a mother.
Mother's Day is a joyous time to be thankful for the guidance that you've been given by a mother and the gift of having children.
Mother's Day to me means a global notion of motherhood. So I can't, of course I think about my children and my mothering of them, but I can't help think about the mothers of all the Iraqi civilians and soldiers who are dying every single day. I can't help thinking about the mothers of our own soldiers who are being killed every day. I think Mother's Day is a day to bring violence against our children to an end.
Mother's Day really was, in its origin, an anti-war day, an anti-war statement. Julie Ward Howe was sickened by what had happened during the Civil War, the loss of life, the carnage, and she created Mother's Day as a call for women all over the world to come together and create ways of protesting war, of making a kind of alternate government that could finally do away with war as an acceptable way of solving conflict.
Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts. Whether your baptism be of water or of tears,
Say firmly, we will not have questions answered by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands will not come to us reeking of carnage for caresses and applause.
Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We,
the women of one country, are too tender to those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm.
disarm.
disarm. The sword of murder is not the balance of justice.
Blood does not wipe our dishonor, nor violence indicate possession. As men have
often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war, let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of council. Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead. Let them solemnly take counsel with each other
as to the means whereby the great human family can live in peace.
Each bearing after his own time the sacred impress, not of Caesar, but of God.
In the name of womanhood and
humanity, I earnestly ask that a General Congress of Women without limit of nationality
may be appointed and held at some place deemed most convenient,
and at the earliest period consistent with its objects,
to promote the alliance of the different nationalities,
the amicable settlement of international questions,
the great and general interest of peace.
In the spirit of Mother's Day and its origin, you can help a child this year by donating to No More Victims as a gift to your mother this Mother's Day. No More Victims brings war-injured Iraqi children to the United States to receive the medical treatment they need. You will help bring Sally, who lost both of her legs in the war in Iraq.
My mother used to say all the time, I look after people's kids because one day I know somebody will look after my kids. I feed people's kids because I know somebody one day will feed my kids. That informs a lot of who I am as a mother. That I know that I'm not only parenting Mavis and Duncan, but I'm responsible for every child that comes through.
A very powerful message and a very important cause. If you'd like more information on this, hopefully you'll visit that website that they listed on there, or the website that is at the bottom of the screen, or you can look up Brave New Films. They're online, and they have a lot of great information out there. Speaking of Brave New Films, in another viral clip from them, they take on Alberto Gonzalez. Obviously Alberto Gonzalez, his days are clearly numbered. But they definitely take him on and actually use his own words against him. You should probably take a look at this. This is an amazing clip. Here you go.
The Attorney General went up and gave a very candid assessment.
Was not involved in seeing any memos, was not involved in any discussions about what was going on.
Candid assessment.
When I said on March 13th that I wasn't involved, what I meant was that I had not been involved, was not involved in the deliberations.
And answered every question he could possibly answer.
I don't recall specifically.
Every question.
I don't recall the content.
Honestly answer.
I don't recall remembering.
Every question.
I have searched my memory.
Some senators didn't like his explanation, but he answered as honestly as he could.
I don't think you're going to win a debate.
Mr. Attorney General, most of this is a stretch.
In light of the fact that you had so little to do with the decisions and made so little effort to understand.
I had everything to do with the decision. It was my decision.
Some senators didn't like his explanation.
You don't recall the November 27 meeting where you made the decision?
Sir, I don't know that a decision was made at that meeting.
Well, how can you be sure you made the decision?
Senator, I recall making the decision I recall making the decision.
When?
Sir, I don't recall when the decision was made.
This is an honest, honorable man in whom I have confidence.
It was handled incompetently. The communication was atrocious. And I believe the best way to put this behind us is your resignation.
Well, that was part one. We can only imagine what part two is going to look like. It's definitely a great job that they're doing in putting this information together. And if you want more information on that, you can go to impeachgonzalez.com. There you'll find out more information on this campaign. John Edwards on National Poverty Action Day. John Edwards was joined by Danny Glover, a very famous actor who we all greatly appreciate in this state. They were joined, they got together in New Orleans for the National Poverty Action Day. We hope to bring you this actually a few weeks ago, closer to the day when it actually happened. But, well, believe it or not, we had to bump it from the lineup. So hopefully tonight you'll be able to take a look at it and appreciate exactly what they were doing down there. And also, it's not too late. You can still get involved. So here is the clip with Danny Glover and Senator John Edwards.
What are we going to do about at least 37 million? That's the government's estimate. At least 37 million of our own people who wake up every day worried about feeding and clothing their children. Because I don't know about you, but I think it says something about the character of our country. How we treat those among us who are literally worried just about surviving. We're better than this. The United States of America is better than this. Hey, brother.
What's happening, brother? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Good to see you. How you been? Good, good. Everything's good? Everything's good. Good to see you.
Hi, I'm Danny Glover. I spent this morning with presidential candidate John Edwards, and we participated in an activity, and that was to help those who were victimized by Katrina to rebuild their homes.
About 5 inches.
This is how we spent our morning. Now what are you going to do?
Outstanding work, gentlemen. Outstanding work. It was just announced that Senator Edwards will be our guest speaker at this year's annual Democratic Party JJ dinner for the state. It's our annual time for us to get together and regroup as a party. Details are still coming out, but it will be in July. We'll get information updated on our website at LafayetteDemocrats.org, that's for sure. But we definitely want to have a good Acadiana presentation there. But we will be joined by Senator John Edwards as our keynote speaker, so you'll definitely want to be there. It'll be definitely a powerful night. Retired General Batiste hits back. That's right. For far too long, we have been hearing from the president that he has done exactly what the troops on the ground want him to do. Well, he's still saying that, and at this point, it's almost laughable because of how many generals have been replaced or forced to retire early because they simply refused to do what the president wanted them to do. And President Bush would just move on until he found someone who would. Well, General Batiste is not taking this lying down anymore. As a matter of fact, he's joined up with the group Vote Vets. They are an amazing group, which we've brought you a lot of their information before. They're trying to call the attention to the voting records of all of the congressional delegates from throughout the country, both in the House and in the Senate. And what they're trying to say is people should be voting, and they should know how these people that are trying to get your vote are actually voting for our brave men and women that are out fighting for us. Vote Vets is doing a great job. I strongly encourage you to check out their website at votevets.org. But here is the clip from General John Batiste. Take a look.
I have always said that I will listen to the requests of our commanders on the ground.
Mr. President, you did not listen. You continue to pursue a failed strategy that is breaking our great Army and Marine Corps. I left the Army in protest in order to speak out. Mr. President, you have placed our nation in peril. Our only hope is that Congress will act now to protect our fighting men and women. Senator McCain, protect America, not George
Well, we
Bush.
can't thank you enough, General, for taking your bravery one step further and coming out in front of the American people and telling us exactly what's going on. The American people desperately need to know this information. This president has lied to us multiple times now, and it's time that people take a stand and say, nope, not on my watch. Very brave. An interesting side note, General Batiste actually took early retirement to leave so that he could specifically speak out about this. This is a man who had still plenty of years left to serve our country, but he thought it was more important, rather than those 10 years of extra service for our country, he thought it was more important for him to take a stand now and actually come out against this president and let the American people know that he is lying to us. I can't tell you what amount of bravery I think it must take to do that. Well done. And this week in our clip of the week, we have another great clip from Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart is taking a look at, well, it's the clip of the week. It needs no explanation. Take a look.
So there it is, the end of an era. I'm sorry, I misspoke. A huge, seemingly endless series of eras. So tonight, the coalition becomes a little less willing. Shall you join me for a look back?
Now every time of my life, no, I never felt like this before.
I appreciate your courage and I appreciate your vision.
George Bush has shown tremendous leadership.
Outstanding work. Outstanding work. We love watching your show, that's for sure. And that is your progressive news for this week. We want to remind you that you can check us out each and every week on YouTube. We are doing a much better job of keeping up with all of the uploading that we have to do and encoding to be able to get it up online. But we usually have our shows up by Tuesday morning or really shortly right after this show airs here on AOC Channel 15 at 9 p.m. on Monday. We do have some good news to report. We got our time slot again for the next series allocation, so that means Blue Mondays is going to continue July through December of this year. We're going to bring you a lot more fast-paced information and a lot more, well, some cooler graphics, as you probably noticed. We had a gentleman that was online and actually complained about our previous background, so we hope you like this background a little bit better. We are doing a lot over here to make sure that we improve this show for you, and we hope that you enjoy it. We greatly appreciate you watching. We also would like to remind you that each and every week on Tuesday mornings, you can check on over to theadvertiser.com for the Left Blog. There, I take a look each week at whatever might be sticking in my craw for that week. Last week, we had a guest editorial by Ruth Yeager. Ruth, you did an amazing job. We couldn't thank you enough. Many of you know Ruth as a series regular here on Blue Mondays, and she will be coming back. She's working on some new segments for us, and we look forward to those. But thank you, Ruth, for doing a great job and holding down the Left Blog for last week. This week, you'll have a new column up there. It'll be on Tuesday morning, so click on over to theadvertiser.com anytime after 9 a.m., and it's usually up on there for you. We would also like to remind you to visit our friends over at LafayetteDemocrats.org. There you'll be able to find a great deal of information about the goings on here in the progressive community. We strongly recommend that you click on over there. And also, I want to call your attention, and you'll have an ad that's going to be coming up here in just a few seconds, but the local Lafayette Democratic Party is actually hosting another election seminar. You'll definitely want to check that out. It's an amazing time for people to come together and get a real fast-paced introduction as to what the current information for the elections are and how to run a better campaign. Anyone that would like to come to this event, as long as you're a registered Democrat, we'd love to have you. For more information on that, visit LafayetteDemocrats.org. And finally, last but not least, we'd like to remind you to check out Democracy Now! On AOC Channel 16 at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. I recently was reintroduced to our friends Amy Goodman and all of her team over there at Democracy Now! And Pacifica Radio. They are doing an amazing job, and we're incredibly lucky to have their simulcast here in Lafayette and really all of Acadiana. So tune in, check them out. It's AOC Channel 16 at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. And with that, we'll be right back.
President Bush isn't listening to us.
It's time to end the war.
Congress passed a plan to end it
and bring our troops home.
But the president vetoed it.
We want Congress to know
we are with you.
Don't back down to President Bush.
Send him the same bill again and again.
We the people will stand with you, because stopping a president who believes he can do no wrong
takes people with courage to do what's right.
I'm John Edwards, and I approve this message.
Because of Iraq.
Because of Iraq, Osama bin Laden is still a threat.
Because of Iraq, our military is spread too thin.
Because of Iraq, there are more terrorists in the world.
Because of Iraq, America is less secure. So if you see commercials telling you to be afraid of terrorism, remember, it's because of Iraq.
In Baton Rouge, Democracy for America, which is a group which originally started by Governor Howard Dean, is doing a grassroots political training. It's a 2-day event, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. It's relatively inexpensive. It's $60, $30 for a student. And this is really and truly, what they're about is not just winning elections. What they're about is starting a movement, which is something that I think is vitally important in this day and age. You know, politics, it's not going to be like it used to be with just TVs and who spends the most money. Politics is getting back to the grassroots, getting back to the people, going door to door, getting your neighbors involved, getting your friends involved. That's what this type of training is about. If anyone, if you're interested in getting involved in politics, either being a candidate or if you have a particular cause or you just want to get involved, this is a wonderful training for you to come to. This is something that the trainers who at this deal, it's kind of like if you really like baseball, you get to hang around with some major league players for a weekend, and it's a great event. I went to one that they had in Houston, Texas. I can't tell you how much I got out of it and how much I really enjoyed it. Again, I've always believed that politics, if you're going to build a house, you don't start with the attic. If you're going to build a house, you start with a foundation and you build from there up. What this is about, and what I think the Democratic Party is getting back to, is getting back to going from the ground up, from the grassroots, and building up there, neighbor to neighbor, neighborhood to neighborhood. That's the way that we're going to take this country back. We're going to take this country back a block at a time, a street at a time, a neighborhood, a parish, a state, a nation. And we're going to take it back for average working people. This shouldn't be a country of the special interest. This ought to be a country of the people's interest. I'd like to see anybody who is interested in politics. Again, it doesn't matter if you're someone who's looking at running for office at some point in time in the future. It doesn't matter if you're just the type of person who likes to be involved, and if you have a particular cause that you want to push. If you just want to learn more about politics, if you want to learn more about grassroots organizing, the things that they teach you here work not just for politics, but if you had a nonprofit organization that you were trying to recruit volunteers for or get organized, anybody who is concerned with activism and getting involved in the process, and whether that be pushing a particular issue, getting a particular candidate elected, or getting themselves elected, this is an excellent learning tool for them. You can either go to Southwest Louisiana, SWLA Democrats.org, or you can go to LafayetteDemocrats.org, or if you want to go straight to the Democracy for America site, there, democracyforamerica.com, and then just go to the training section, and you can sign up for the seminar right there online.
Hi, I'm Stephen Handwerk with the local Democratic Party, and we'd like to invite you to our annual campaign and election training seminar. Our seminar will be held Saturday, June 9th from 9 a.m. until 12 noon, and it'll be right here at AOC Studios. During this training, you'll be able to learn how to run a modern campaign, from everything from how to message, how to get your vote out, how to turn people out to vote for you, and also you'll be able to learn about all of the new technologies that are available to you through the local Democratic Party and through the state party. It's going to be a jam-packed seminar that we definitely think will help benefit anyone who's considering running for office or anyone who would like to work on a campaign to help get their candidate elected. That's Saturday, June 9th at 9 a.m. till 12 noon at AOC Studios for the Lafayette Parish Democratic Campaign Election Training Seminar. We hope to see you there.